You don't know. You don't, just because you feel like you won't get married for 7 or 8 years doesn't mean that that's the truth. First off, feelings aren't facts. God could send your soulmate to you tomorrow, and you could meet someone and fall in love, and that person could push you to your destiny, and you could push them to theirs, which is the way I believe God designed it. So you don't really know when that's going to happen. So to say 7 or 8 years is, you don't know. Hey all, today is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020. I am down here in Galveston, Texas. I decided to do my vlog. It's Wednesday. I think the last time I did it was on a Wednesday. Sorry for not being more consistent with the days and times. I will get back to a regular schedule, I'm thinking, but I'm just trying to find time to do it when I can. So yeah, I'm down here in Galveston. Came down here for a few days. To Texas, that is, and to Galveston specifically, just for a little bit of R&R before I drive back to Houston tomorrow to work on City Fam stuff. I try to get away every January for a little bit, for a short vacation, if not a little bit longer one, because I typically work pretty hard, but I work especially hard in December because of New Year's Eve. So I have to do all my other, all my regular stuff, but then I have all the New Year's Eve stuff dumped on top of it. So by the time January hits, I'm usually pretty crispy and in need of a little bit of downtime. So last year, I don't think I went away, and it definitely, I felt the difference. So I came here to unplug for a little bit, to get quiet, to rest, to pray, to really, just kind of hear from God and take a look at everything from an outsider, try to look at it from a different angle and just to see things from a different perspective. So yeah, I'm here, and it's been great. I got down here Sunday night, and I leave tomorrow. I go back to Houston, like I said, to work with our new executive director, Nicole Richard, and on a 2-year business plan. We're going to be putting together a 2-year plan for City Fam, which has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm very excited about it. It'll help us, know what to focus on and in what order. It will also hopefully help us attract funding, which is something we haven't been great at. But in order to get money, you need to have a really good plan. So we need to start to quantify the things that we already know about the organization. Like, we know that we have a positive impact on people's lives. We need to actually put some numbers behind that, and then to say, okay, this is how many events we want to do. This is how many people's lives we want to impact. This is what it's going to save taxpayers, all that stuff. So that's something that we want to do, and we'll be working on later this week and next week, so I'm pretty pumped about it. I do want to give a shout out real quick to everybody back in Baltimore. I want to thank everybody holding it down that's allowing me to be here, specifically Kim Spriggs, our chapter lead. Thank you. You're doing an amazing job for just stepping into this role. Thank you, Mark Robertson, our Renegade lead. Corliss, she's just so consistent, one of our best people. Holds down our volunteer events, does membership and check-in and all that. Thank you to Morgan Kimmel for lining up our service events. I appreciate you so much. Sherry Collins and Willis, and I could go down the list. So we have a bunch of great people back in Baltimore, and I'm really grateful for all you. Crystal Rios, thank you for holding it down and allowing me to be here. But I did want to say, before I jumped into it, that I've been feeling kind of heavy. I've mentioned it on some of my blogs lately, where I've struggled with this. It's not something that was just lately, but specifically lately, I've been feeling it even as the tour approaches. And I've reached out to some people, like fellow believers, and I've asked them to pray for me, because I was like, I don't understand what this is. Is it demonic? I've actually considered, I was like, I said, the demonic attack, and I'm not the kind of person that typically goes to places like that. I don't attribute, things like that. I do believe that demons are real. I definitely believe that they're real, and I know the devil's not happy about, anything that we're doing, specifically the tour that's coming up. So I've questioned if it was something that was potentially, on a spiritual level. And, and again, it's not something that I just dealt with lately. It was something that, it's been an ongoing thing. But before, it was because, I attributed it to the fact that, first, when I really rededicated my life, I eliminated all my external sources for pleasure, for the most part. So here I'm, not drinking, not using drugs, not sleeping with women. And then there's a detox period that you go through when you stop those things, right? So I attributed it to that. And then there was periods of time where I was heavy, and I attributed to the fact that I was working really hard on, City Fam and everything that, the book or whatever it was at that time. And I wasn't getting traction, not the traction that I thought I should be getting for the amount of effort that I was putting in. And that led me to feeling heavy at times, where it was hard to motivate myself to put in the hours, although I did it. Lately, things have been working great. They're actually starting to work better than they ever have. And I was still feeling heavy in the mornings, specifically getting going. And I was like, why am I feeling this way? And, one of the things I've already gotten clarity on being down here in Texas was that, relationships in a lot of ways is what got me here. Community. And I talk about community so much, probably more than, anybody else on your timeline. But it's because it's what got me here. It's what it enabled me to go through all those hard times where, I was limiting external sources of pleasure, or, things were hard. It's what enabled me to not quit. And, lately, to be honest, things have started to work, and when they started to work, and I shifted my attention from my friendships onto my work, because it required my time, to be honest. Things were working, and then I was excited, so I just started working harder on them, and now all of a sudden I'm not nurturing those relationships, those friendships, the way that I was before. I almost look at it as think about if anybody's ever been in really good shape. So there have been times in my life where I was single digit body fat, where I was 7% body fat. I mean, I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, I look great, right? But it takes work. It takes continuous work. It's not like you can stop, once you get into great shape. You have to keep doing it. You got to keep working out. You got to keep dieting. And if you stop for too long, guess what happens? Your body goes back to a certain state. And it's the same way with community, where if you stop putting in the work, then it can be lost. Not to say I've lost it, because I do have great friends. I'm not spending that one-on-one time with my real friends, my good friends, or any real friends, any friends for that matter, like I used to. I do group things, but you don't get intimacy in groups. So one of the things that I really got clarity on down here was I got to get back to what got me here. And like any other discipline, I have to go do it. Even if I'm tempted to work longer, I can't. I got to make time for friends. So, I'm thinking 2 or 3 times a week, I'm just going to, call up a friend, or, set a meeting with a friend and go to dinner with them, or go to lunch with them, or whatever. And just, hear what's going on in their life. And that'll include leaders in City Fam, but also just people that are personal friends. And I know for me, what that's going to do for me, it's going to re-energize me. It's going to fill my cup, because I need that. You can't just grind all the time. I don't care how good things are. I could get to all my goals. And that was the thought process, is if you're not, things are starting to work, you're about to go on this tour, the book is on bookstore shelves in Romania, and all these, City Fam is growing like a weed in Houston, and, Baltimore is getting their, systems together, and you got all these chapters starting. And I'm like, if you're not happy now, what makes you think that you're going to be happy when you get to the goal? And that was my thought. And I think that's what made it hard for me to get up and keep working. It was because I'm thinking that that's going to make me happy. It will, but I need to have the relationships on top of it. I can't just expect to, be successful and whatever, and not have those relationships, because without that, life just won't be what I envisioned, and won't be enjoyable. So that was something I got clarity on down here. I'm really excited actually to go back and just be able to do that. So, yes, Marcy, stay connected. And yes, you, Annette, for sure. Oh, I thought you meant link up. I'm going to come up to Lancaster. I think that's where you're by. Well, I'll have to go to Sight and Sound. You, me, are going to have to do that. We'll bring a group up to you. But, All in all, I feel like the heaviness though is a blessing, to be honest, because I believe it's like an internal alarm system for that God hardwired into us to tell us, okay, something needs to change. So depression and loneliness and that heaviness and all that. I believe that is God's way of telling you, or this internal system for telling you that things need to change. And the way to change those things is to work your way out of it, which is hard to do when you're feeling heavy. But I really feel like the key, is number one, knowing what it is that will make you happy, which is getting a vision. I'm also very big on, people getting a vision for their life, knowing what they want most, not, what they want right now, but what they want most. And then working toward that. And, community again is what will help you get there, but also just an attitude of gratitude. You have to have a grateful heart. You have to stay focused on the things that you have without paying too much attention to the things that you don't have yet. Because when you have a dream and you're working toward that dream and you don't have that thing in your possession, it's very easy to get negative and then get depressed and then quit. I was talking to so I wasn't actually talking to her, but someone sent me a message on Instagram. She was sending me voice messages yesterday, and I was sending them back. And she's a girl that follows my content. She's a 21-year-old girl. She's a virgin, actually. And she was saying that, she's only dated 3 guys in her life, and she hasn't had sex with any of them. Obviously, she's a virgin. But she said that she doesn't see herself getting married for a few more years. And, she's like, maybe 7 or 8 years. She said, I can't see myself getting married, and I can't see myself not having sex for that long. And, what do you suggest? I'm in the entertainment industry and there's a lot of pressure. And so I just encouraged her to keep going, because I thought, what I told her was, you don't know. Just because you feel like you won't get married for 7 or 8 years doesn't mean that that's the truth. First off, feelings aren't facts. God could send your soulmate to you tomorrow, and you could meet someone and fall in love, and that person could push you to your destiny, and you could push them to theirs, which is the way I believe God designed it. So you don't really know when that's going to happen. So to say 7 or 8 years is, you don't know. I said the other thing is, what's really the alternative? You get with somebody, you have sex with them, right? You don't know if they're the right person. You don't know if their intentions are to be around long term. All you know is their word. They're not backing it up with action. And then potentially you get linked up with the wrong person. And now all these great things that are happening in your life, because she's basically in the entertainment industry and she's chasing her dreams. She's doing a lot of stuff that she loves. I said, then guess what? The potential is, because they're not created to go to the same place that you are. Now you miss your purpose because you linked up with the wrong person. And I told her, I said, look at Adam and Eve. I said, they had everything. They were in paradise. They had everything that they could ever want. And they focused on the one thing that they didn't have, which was the apple. And it cost them everything else. So I said, you're looking at sex, you're focusing on sex. It's the one thing that you don't have, but all this great stuff is happening around you. And you could go out and have that one thing, and it cost you all these other things. And she was like, thank you so much. You really, reaffirmed my decision. And so she was grateful. But my point is like, I think too many people, I think that's the trick that the devil plays on us, is he gets us to focus on that one thing that we don't have, when there's all these great things happening around us. And then we take the bait, we do that one thing, whatever it is. For me, it could be multiple things, sobriety, it would be easy for me to focus on the fact, you can't drink. And then of course I drink, and then it causes me to do something that costs me everything else, or sex, or whatever your thing is. So you have to stay grateful, and you have to stay, focused on those things, which is why I make a gratitude list every morning. I sit down and I write 10 things that I'm grateful for. Not every morning. I'll be honest, I don't do it every morning, but I do it a few times a week. I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for, and what it does is it makes me intentionally think about things that are good around me, and it also reprograms my mind, because what I'll notice is when I do that consistently, I'm going to turn this light on for a second here. When I do that consistently, what will happen is, as I go throughout my day, I'll start noticing other things to be grateful for. So I'll be like, oh yeah, that is really good. I am grateful that my office is close to the kitchen. Or, oh man, I'm grateful that I get to drink coffee again after this fast is over. Or whatever it is. You start looking for things to be grateful for, and it puts you into an attitude of gratitude. So that's important as you go after, whatever it is that you're chasing. So I don't know how I got onto that, but the other thing I would say is, what I said to her is pressure forms diamonds. So like, yes, there's a tension in living this way. I mean, I'm the prime example where it's difficult. This is not easy. Like, anybody that says that being single and not having sex for long periods of time is easy is probably lying. Or I don't know, maybe it is easy for some people. Maybe there's asexual people out there and it's just easy for them, but it's not easy. But at the same time, it's that tension, it's that pressure that, forms diamonds. Like I did a short video a couple years ago where I talked about, like, God he'll put a piece of sand, like if you think about an oyster, it has a piece of sand, or I think it's a clam. I don't know who makes a pearl. It's an oyster, right? An oyster. Anyway, there's a piece of sand, and it's irritating to that oyster, that clam, and it forms a pearl from it because it makes it a little bit more comfortable. So God will put you in uncomfortable situations because He wants to get you to get something, to form something around that. So for me, my piece of sand, my irritating situation was the fact that I became a believer, and I'm like, what do I even do now for fun? What do I do with myself? And then eventually my pearl was a book. And, so I went from, starting a nonprofit to fix the one problem or in my own life at least, to writing a book. And it was that tension. If it wasn't for that tension and that pressure, they were all unforeseen benefits of me making this decision to be, obedient, but it wasn't fun, like it wasn't something that I enjoyed. But if it wasn't for that pressure, that tension, that uncomfortable thing, I would have never done it. I would have never started the nonprofit had I not waited. I would have never started City Fam. I would have never wrote the book. I would never be going on this tour. All these things were unforeseen benefits of me making this decision. So I don't know what it'll be for you if you choose to do it, or whatever. I'm not even talking about sex now. I'm just talking about getting obedient. If there's something that you feel that you're being led to do, that you're supposed to do, that God is maybe telling you to do, step out and do it. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's painful, even if it's, I'll be honest, to stay in the center of His will, at times I've been miserable. You know what I mean? I'm not lying. I've been like, I haven't enjoyed it, but I knew that if I stayed long enough, sooner or later, He'd show up and something would break, because I was not willing to remove myself from that and miss that moment. So, for what it's worth, if there's anyone out there that's in that same position, keep going. Surround yourself with like-minded people and keep going. So, MLK is coming up for City Fam. So we are at 3 places in Baltimore. Actually, in Houston, I'm going to be in Houston serving with them for MLK, and we're doing something called Abba House, I believe, and it's for refugees. It's for women that are refugees and their children. So we're going to be doing some physical labor there. I'm excited about it. I'm just excited about serving with the Houston team, or just meeting all of them and just seeing this thing spread, and knowing that there's another whole city that's embraced this idea. It's really exciting. So, but in Baltimore, we're going to be at 3 different nonprofits, and they are Real Food Farm. So we're partnering with Civic Works, but we're going to be serving at 3 different places. Real Food Farm, doing some stuff outside there. We're going to be at a place called the Loading Dock. I think it's like a warehouse type place. And then Second Chance, which is also a warehouse. Second Chance is great. I've been there a few times, where you're actually, they repurpose furniture and actually whole houses, where they get the hard wood out of them and everything else, and they save all that material from going to the dump. So you get repurposed wood and everything else, and then they sell it, and they use that to help people that are have been incarcerated or maybe addicted to drugs, and they give them a second chance. So not only do they give the material a second chance by not sending it to the dump, they give the people that come through their organization a second chance by using the money to help them. So it's really awesome. So if you're looking for a way to get involved, volunteering, this is a perfect opportunity. It's this Monday. You can sign up on the cityfam.com website. It's going to be really great. The tour, actually, I want to talk about the retreat before I talk about the tour. So the Stop Dreaming, Start Creating retreat is January 24th and 25th. It's going to be a Friday night and a Saturday day. So 2 days, and what we're going to help you do is we're going to help you get clear about what you want 2020 to look like, and then we're going to give you a great strategy, not what 2020 to look like. We're going to help you get clear about what you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. So what are those things that you want most? And then we're going to give you a plan to how to make those things come to pass, to make them a reality. So for me, one of the things was City Fam 1 year, and the book was one of my things, and personal brand was one of my things. So I've had these things, and I've taken my schedule and I've maximized my time. I put myself in a situation that I could spend as much time on those things that I wanted most, instead of just letting my day, rule me, which is what I used to do. Get out of bed whenever, my schedule would basically be whatever was pulling at me versus me controlling it. I don't know if that makes sense. I probably didn't do a great job of explaining that. But my point is there are high performance coaching techniques that were taught to me and the people that are going to be leading it, Billy Lofton and Ariana Lofton. Shout out to them. They are going to be leading this workshop, and they're going to be taking everybody that attends through these exercises. So it's very powerful. Honestly, it's thousands of dollars of material that you're going to be taught, and it'll radically change your life if you do it. So you can register for $149, and it's Friday night, the 24th, and Saturday day, the 25th. And all in all, it's going to be about 8.5 hours. You're going to be working. You're going to be, there's going to be live videos in between the exercises that they give you. Then you'll go and you'll fill out everything for an hour, and then we'll come back live. And anyway, it's going to be people joining from all over the world. Actually, we have people in London already registered. We have people all across the United States already registered. So, but we're actually going to be in Baltimore. We're going to be live. We're going to be meeting at the City Fam offices. So if you're watching this and you're in Baltimore, you can join us live, which would be great, because this is the way I've mentioned it before. The material is the best. It's the best material of its kind in the world. But it's hard work, because you have to sit there and you really have to think, what do I really want? And you have to eliminate things that you don't like. Maybe there are things that you kind of want, but maybe it's not what you really want most. So you have to do this work, and you have to think, and it's hard stuff to do alone. But when you're in a group setting, it's a lot easier to do it. It's when I talk about working out, I go to boot camp at 5:45 in the morning, because that's when my friends are there, because it makes it a little easier, to do the workout. So that's what we want to do for you. So if you're watching this and you want 2020 to be the best year of your life, and you're willing to invest a little bit in yourself, which I would highly recommend, again, you will thank me for it. Go to the cityfam.com website, register for Stop Dreaming, Start Creating, and join us. And if you're not in the Baltimore area and you just want to join us online, that's great too. We're encouraging people from everywhere to have home meetings where, have a meeting at your house, invite a few friends over, and do it together. Because again, it definitely makes it a little bit easier when you're surrounded with people that are also doing the work. So the tour, let's talk about that for a moment. So the tour's coming up in literally 3 weeks, I think it is. We're starting out in Manchester, and then London, and then we'll be going to Nottingham, Birmingham, and I thought it was Edinburgh, but it might be Edinburgh, because somebody sent me I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but we're going to be in Scotland, Ireland, and England, which I'm really excited about. I've never been to any of those countries besides flying through London last year when I was coming back from Romania. So we have about the first 8 weeks of the tour planned out, and we're leaving about 4 weeks open so we can, it's your birthday on the 25th, Veronica. Yeah, join us. That'd be a great birthday present to yourself. So we're leaving about 4 weeks open, because we just really want to let God lead, to be honest. Because once we get over there, my belief is we're going to be taking content, we're going to be filming everything that we're doing through the tour, and I'm going to be posting it on social media. And I believe that we're going to get a lot more opportunities and doors open for us once the awareness goes up about about the movement, about the Why Waiting Works movement. So yeah, if you're in any of those places and you want to come out and see me, drop me a DM. I'll tell you exactly where we're going to be. If you are somewhere in the UK and we're not in your city or your town, and you would like to, help facilitate a stop for us, we would be open to talking about that also. But the goal is really to do a 12-week tour all around the UK, potentially, any other countries that are close by, and then come back to the States middle of May, and stay here for about 2 months, and then go back out and tour around Canada, the United States, and potentially Australia. Although I have been feeling something for Africa lately. We've gotten a lot of requests from Africa, and I just feel like that may be somewhere God wants to send us. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But ideally, I'll be, on the road for about 6 months of this year, doing talks in churches, bookstores, community centers, schools. And with each of those talks, the goal is to start small groups, start Truth About Sex small groups. Some of those small groups will potentially become CityFam chapters at some point. And then identifying people in each of those small groups to train up on how to do these talks, and then sending them out in their own town to go around to more churches and schools with the intention of getting this message out, but also starting more groups. So I want to start groups that start groups that start groups, and that's how we're going to grow exponentially and start a worldwide movement. That's the plan. So in case you want to know what's behind all this. So yeah, very excited. Ideally the long-term goal, just to be completely transparent, is to have the book translated into every language, at least every major language in the world. So if you're watching this and you want to translate the book into your language, or you want to facilitate someone else translating the book in your language, and maybe even us coming there, a tour of your country, which is what Adelina Fronia did. By the way, today is Adelina's birthday. Big happy birthday to you, Adelina, if you're watching. Definitely better for having known you. You're probably the most tenacious person I've ever met, and I'm grateful for you. So happy birthday. But that is what Adelina did in Romania. She actually had the book translated, and then she's, basically facilitated the tour. So we're looking for more people like that. And there's a financial piece in it where we're actually going to be giving part of the revenue to that person, up to 50% actually of all the money, all the book sales that come in from the book, the sales of the book in that country. So there is a financial piece. So if that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me. You can drop me a DM, or you can send an email to bookings@robbkowalski.com, and someone will get back to you with more information on that. So that really is the long-term plan, is to get it translated into every language, and eventually, do a tour and start groups and see how far this thing can go. So, but the other thing that's exciting to announce, switching gears a little bit, is on June 20th, I'll be doing another show at the Horseshoe, and I'm excited to announce that we'll be having Genuine. So yeah, old school R&B guy, for all the old heads out there. We'll be bringing in the Horseshoe Casino on June 20th, which I'm pretty excited about. Definitely had some popular hits from my era, and yeah, he actually happens to be a believer too. So maybe my goal is to sit down with him and do a little interview, maybe do like a little podcast interview with him before the show, and then put that up wherever, talk to him about his faith and where he's at in his life. But yeah, so what else? What else haven't I talked about? So I guess I'm really just, again, it's just a lot going on, a lot of good stuff that's happening, and I'm very grateful for the ability to do it. Basically I'm using the money that I made on New Year's Eve to do all this, to fund the tour. I bought the plane tickets to the UK with my money. I bought, the deposit to get Genuine to the Horseshoe. And I'm just grateful that God continues to provide enough, because just for anyone watching, if there's any, question, I don't get paid from CityFam, and CityFam doesn't even pay for me to take these trips. So like if I'm down here in Houston working on CityFam stuff, I bought my plane ticket. CityFam is not paying for me to be down here. I pay my own way. And so I actually did my taxes for last year, and I donated over $6,000 to CityFam. So not only do I not get paid, I put money into it. So if there's any question, I know we have contributing members and people that volunteer at games, and I'm so grateful for you guys, but know that it doesn't come to me. It goes to operational expenses, paying the rent, Facebook ads, we have a marketing person that works part-time. So we're doing a lot with a little. So if you are a contributing member or a volunteer, or you've given to CityFam in any way in the past, you can know that the money is being used for good purposes. And if you'd like to donate to CityFam, of course, we'd greatly appreciate it. We definitely know how to stretch a dollar and would be very grateful for that. So where I see actually CityFam, because right now, it's been very hand to mouth with CityFam, definitely trying to figure out a way to be sustainable so that we don't have financial problems. For anybody out there that doesn't know, a common struggle with nonprofits is that fundraising. A lot of times the executive director will have to spend about 50% of their time raising money for the nonprofit, and then they're only able to give the other 50% of the time to the actual cause, the thing that the nonprofit exists for. So we don't want to be in a place like that. Our goal is to get to a place where we're completely sustainable and we don't have to chase money, and we can just focus on this problem, this loneliness epidemic. That really is what I believe that we're the answer to. So the way that I see that happening is a few ways. Specifically, I see it happening with money from other chapters, because we're going to get into not a franchise model, but it'll be associations where other chapters will be able to use our name and our processes and systems, and they'll pay in a little bit of money to us for the brand and for all, accounting and insurance and everything else that we'll take care of for them. The other way that I think that we can be sustainable is with this documentary. We're going to make that Truth About Loneliness documentary from the road. As we do this tour, we're going to be filming, we're going to be talking to people, interviewing people that are experts in the field, and we're going to make a documentary called The Truth About Loneliness. And I think that there's a way that we can use that to fund CityFam. And then the third way that I think that we can be sustainable is opening home. Because once home opens, then our contributing memberships actually have a real tangible value. To be honest, right now we have a little value, but a lot of our contributing members, which again I'm completely grateful for, are there because they believe in us. They're just believing in us, not because of the what they get in return. So again, thank you for riding with us and continuing to believe. But I don't want to rely on that. I don't want to have to rely on people's goodwill to survive, So again, when home opens, we'll be able to give tangible results where they're going to get 15% off their checks. We have a meet and greet. Imagine like Stefan comes to town and we have him do something only for contributing members. We could do all kinds of stuff once we have a brick and mortar place. So hopefully home opens later this year. I don't know. Again, it's something that's not in my control time-wise. I'm really just kind of trusting God to open that door, but I'm hoping that in fall of this year, this long dream that I've had will finally come to pass. So if you're the praying type, pray for home, please. Honestly, just pray for me. Pray for the tour, pray for our leaders and all the different chapters, because again, we are doing something that the bad guys aren't happy about. They're not happy about what we're doing. We see a lot of people get set free through the power of community, through the power of us just being together. When you're alone, the devil can get you. He can pick you off. I said that on the tour. Like if you ever seen National Geographic and the lion comes on, he's hunting, he always gets the one animal that ran off by himself. But when you're together, he can't attack you like that. So that's really what we're doing. We're bringing people together. We're teaching them how to stay together, how to treat each other so that they can stay in relationship with each other so they don't get picked off. And again, even if you look at my message with sex, it's a part of that, because sex without commitment leads to division. It's anti-community. And it's easy to play that out in your mind. Just think about it. But yeah, that's it. So the last Renegade, one of the last things I want to talk about is the last Renegade we had an ambassador training meeting. So that's something new that we're rolling out. at City Fam, where we're actually picking people. It's kind of like an invite only kind of program, where people that we think, man, they're solid. They really exemplify what we're all about. We really see something in that person and believe that they can represent City Fam. We're asking them to now attend a monthly meeting that's going to happen right before the Renegade each month, and we're just, we're sharing our ideologies, with anybody that might be new. Like, okay, this is what we believe. This is, sharing the ladder, and this is how we walk people up to becoming the best version of themselves. And then we're recognizing people that are doing the work. Like, hey, if, like this person they brought 3 guests to the last service event. Hey, come up here. How did you do that? Let them talk a little bit. Let other people hear it. And then we're doing some training, where actually we talk about it's just something with culture, where we're shaping our culture, and we're talking about our values, and like even things as simple as like, hey, look, if you see a new person, don't leave them standing there by themselves. Introduce them to somebody, So just we're doing this ambassador training each month, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be something that we roll out to all the other groups. And I want to give a shout out to Brett Marcus. Thank you for leading that last one. It was amazing. We got some really good video footage that we'll probably post soon, but it definitely is a nice, it's a turn for City Fam. It's something that I've thought about and dreamt about for a long time, and now it's actually happening. So I'm very excited about that. Next Renegade will be at Dave & Buster's in White Marsh. So if you're in the Baltimore area, come out and hang out. We'll be, playing games, obviously, enjoying some great food and drink specials, just like we always do. Last but not least, the City Fam app is coming along. It's very buggy right now. We actually had our own app developed over the course of the last 2.5 years because we kept running out of money, but we actually had it finished, and it's just very buggy right now. And I want to give a shout out to Michelle Hall and Angel Peterson for spearheading the initiative to get that app to completion. But that is going to be a game changer for us, because that is really going to allow our members now to create their own events, their own social events, their own service events, and then connect with everybody else in the group. And that is going to be huge for us, because now instead of having 1 or 2 events, 1 social event and then a service event every month, just 2 events, now you're going to have events every weekend, and they're going to be of all different kinds of events. It's not just going to be an event at a bar, which, hey, that might not be your thing. Somebody, you might be a member of City Fam and say, I really want to go see this play, or I want to go to this museum, or I really want to go look at stars, or whatever it is, your thing. You'll be able to put that event up on the app and connect with everybody else in the group. And then, of course, the question that comes to mind, or I've had people ask, well, how's that different than Meetup? The difference is because there's no intention behind Meetup. So with us, we socialize with intention. My goal when I hang out with people is to help them become the best version of themselves. So I'm looking for ways that I can add value to them. Who can I introduce them to? How can I do something for them? With Meetup, it's just people that have things in common. Oh, the wine drinkers of Baltimore, or people that like hiking, or whatever. That's great. It does give people things to do. But with City Fam, there's intention behind it. And that's what really makes us unique. So when the app is finally finished, it's going to be a game changer. And when that ambassador piece comes together with the app, you're going to see some really big things happen in the organization. So I'm really pumped about it. So appreciate you guys. I'll see y'all in about a week and a half. I'll be back in Baltimore. Stop Dreaming, Start Creating comes up again, January 24th and 25th. Register. Don't miss it. I promise you, you will not regret it. See ya.
Hey, I'm excited to announce that the Stop Dreaming, Start Creating retreat is coming back for 2020. You might remember seeing this retreat around this time last year. It was a weekend-long retreat designed to help everyone that attended get really clear about what they wanted to accomplish in that new year, and then give them a plan to make those things actually happen. A lot of the high-performance techniques that I use currently to identify what it is I want most and then actually achieve those things, I was taught by coaches. And we here at City Fam want to share those same techniques with you. We believe that the better our members and leaders are, the better we will be. So our goal is to help you become the best version of yourself and live life at your highest level. Last year we had this event in Pennsylvania, and we had people from all over the world attend. We literally had people from London, Germany, and all across the United States. And the stories we got back over the last 12 months from the people that attended have been incredible. People's whole lives have been changed from the things they discovered during that weekend. And in our continued effort to bring massive value to our members, this year we decided to make it more practical and more affordable so that everyone could attend. We decided to do it virtually through a live simulcast. So that means wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to tune in and be walked through these powerful exercises designed to make 2020 your best year ever. You'll be led through these exercises by certified life coaches, and you'll receive downloadable worksheets that you will have time to complete before the next live session starts. The material is priceless. I've personally paid thousands of dollars to learn these things, and it's been worth every penny. It's radically revolutionized the way I approach life. The great news is we priced it at just $149 so that everyone could have access to it, which is a really small price to pay for the immense value that you're going to receive by attending this 2-day online workshop. We even have a $25 early bird discount and a $25 discount for all of our contributing members. So that means you can attend this life-changing weekend for as low as $99. The date is Friday, January 24th and Saturday, January 25th. So register now and join City Famers from all over the world that are ready to stop dreaming and start creating a life they really want. I'll see you there.
I needed some direction in my life, some ambition.
Wasn't liking my lifestyle and I wanted to change, and I was feeling all alone.
I've been feeling stuck for a few years.
I knew that I needed to have a new way of setting goals for the year, and that I needed to do it with a healthy community.
I've had so many ideas and so many things that I wanted to do, but I've been talking about it.
I was able to narrow down what my goals were.
And it's pushing me to do more and to come out of my comfort zone and to try more and to know and to have confidence in myself.
This weekend I learned that, hey, any dream is possible. Surround yourself with the right people and a good group of people that believe in you and you believe in them, that you can accomplish anything.
I've got goals to work on, I've got tools, I've got friends, community, leadership. I have everything that I needed.
If you're lonely, sad, bored, got bad family members, don't have any friends, open yourself up. Give this a shot. You won't be disappointed.